Kunj Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunj Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Hanuman Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Shri Radha Gokulananda Bhagavan ki Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai Gaur Nitai ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna, we're reading from Canto 3, Chapter 9, Text 4. Tadva idam bhuvana mangala mangalaya Dhyane smano darshitam ta upsakaskanam Dhyane smanata shritam ta upaksanam Tasmai namo bhagavate nuvidam tubhyam Tasmai namo bhagavate navide matubhyam Natyato naraka bhagavir asat prasanga Tadva idam bhuvana mangala mangalaya Dhyane smano darshitam ta upakshanam Darsitam napasakanam Tasmai namo bhagavate nuvite matubhyam. Yanadatta naraka bhagabhirasa prasange. Tadva idam bhuvana mangala mangalaya. Dhyane smano darshitam ta upsakanam. Tasmai namo bhagavate nuvidaye matubhyam. Yadrita naraka bhagapi asat prasange. So word for word, Tat, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shri Krishna. Va, or, idam, this present form. Bhuvana Mangala, O you are all auspicious for all the universes. Mangalaya, for the sake of all prosperity. Dhyane, in meditation. Sma, as it were. Na, unto us. Darshitam, manifested. Te, your. upasakam nam of the devotees, tasmai unto him, namaha, my respectful obeisances. Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead, anuvidema, I perform, tubhyam, unto you, you, yaha, which, anatritaha, is neglected, naraka bhagyabi, by persons destined for hell, asat prasangai, by material topics. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This present form or any transcendental form expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna is equally auspicious for all the universes. Since you have manifested this eternal personal form upon whom your devotees meditate, I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Those who are destined to be dispatched to the path of hell neglect your personal form because of speculating on material topics. Please, okay, I'll read the purport. Regarding the personal and impersonal features of the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personal forms exhibited by the Lord in His different plenary expansions are all for the benediction of all the universes. The personal form of the Lord is also worshipped in meditation as Supersoul Paramatma, but the impersonal Brahmajyoti is not worshipped. Persons who are addicted to the impersonal feature of the Lord, whether in meditation or otherwise, are all pilgrims to hell, because as stated in Bhagavad Gita 12.5, impersonalists simply waste their time in mundane mental speculation because they are addicted more to false arguments than to reality. Therefore, the association of the impersonalists is condemned herewith by Brahma. All the plenary expansions of the personality of Godhead are equally potent as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.46. The Lord expands Himself as the flames of a fire expand one after another. Although the original flame or Shri Krishna is accepted as Govinda, the Supreme Person, all other expansions such as Rama, Narasimha and Varaha are as potent as the original Lord. All such expanded forms are transcendental. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is made clear that the Supreme Truth is eternally uncontaminated by material touch. There is no jugglery of words and activities in the transcendental kingdom of the Lord. All the Lord's forms are transcendental, and such manifestations are ever identical. This particular form of the Lord exhibited to a devotee is not mundane, even though the devotee may retain material desire, nor is it manifest under the influence of material energy, as is foolishly considered by the impersonalists. Impersonalists who consider the transcendental forms of the Lord to be products of the material world are surely destined for hell. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Lalita Shiv Shakam Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna and good morning to everyone. I seek all the Vaishnavas' blessings so that we can discuss something and I can purify my heart in the process. So please repeat after me the translation. This present form or any transcendental form expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is equally auspicious for all the universes. Since you have manifested this eternal personal form upon whom your devotees meditate, I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Those who are destined to be dispatched to the path of hell neglect your personal form because of speculating on material topics. Okay. So we are reading Canto 3. And in chapter 8, we read about the manifestation of Brahma from the Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then in chapter 9, we have started hearing about the prayers by Lord Brahma for creative energy. So it says here, this present form or any transcendental form expanded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is equally auspicious for all the universes. And Srila Prabhupada adds that all plenary expansions of the personality of Godhead are equally potent. So they are all incarnations and expansions are equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada gives the example of the flame and fire. So the original flame is Sri Krishna, but the expansions are also flames. And they are of the same quality, so same potency, and they are not contaminated by material nature either. So we see so many expansions of the Lord, and like Lord Rama. And when Lord Rama came here, to this material realm, he was, acting like a human. When Mother Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, Lord Rama was so distraught and he was crying, Sita, 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 and he was, acting like a human being would act if they lost, somebody very close to them. But we know that Lord Rama was not contaminated by material nature. This was all an act. He was a role model to the human society to show us how to behave. He was showing us the role of Maryada Purushottam. So, how to be the best brother, how to be the best son, how to be the best husband. That's what, he was showing. And all the expansions of the Lord come for a particular reason. For example, when Lord Nrsingadev came, he came to save his dear devotee Prahlad Maharaj. And, he came in that form, he had that opulence of anger and, he was very fierce and, so he came to save. So he came in that way. And, here it says that all of these expansions are equally auspicious. So all the expansions are auspicious because they either come to save a devotee or to reciprocate with a devotee or to save, the devotees from demons or to, put right anything that has gone wrong. So all these are auspicious reasons, and they're auspicious for everyone in all the universes. But, they're just acting and playing the part. It's not that, Krishna comes under the influence of the material nature. Impersonalists, on the other hand, believe that the Lord is contaminated by material nature. He is material, just like us humans. And they speculate and discuss the statements from the Upanishad in isolation and just totally waste their time. Even if the statement is proving that the Lord is not contaminated by material nature, they manipulate it and, to make it fit with their idea. And, they discuss these ideas and speculate. And Srila Prabhupada mentions that the personal form is worshipped in meditation as the Supersoul Paramatma. So we know that there are three ways for to realize the Lord. So three ways of perceiving the Lord. Prameti, Parmeti, Bhagwan iti sabdyate. So Bhagwan, Paramatma and Brahmajyoti. So Bhagwan is the personal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. And Paramatma is the form of the Lord in our heart. So these are both personal forms. However, the Brahmajyoti is an impersonal form. It's the energy of the Lord, which we don't worship. So, in the verse it mentions, since you have manifested this external form upon whom your devotees meditate. So, the Lords exhibit, in the expansions according to the desire of their devotees, like in the Archa Vigraha form. So, a devotee desires and the Lord manifests the deity form. And that could be made of stone, marble, wood. So these are material, materials from the material nature. And, the devotee might build a temple and, put the deity there, install the deity. And the Lord actually manifests and resides in that deity form. So he comes in that deity form to reside and reciprocates with the devotees through that form. So we see that Srila Prabhupada had this desire. He had a desire to build temples around the world, and he personally installed so many deities and, our dear Radha Gokulananda as well. So Krishna is actually here, he's here. Radha Gokulananda is here. Sometimes, we come in front of the deities and we don't actually feel that. We don't feel that Krishna is actually here. But he is here and he does reciprocate. And I am sure that you've had these experiences where Krishna is personally reciprocating with you. But however, the impersonalists, they can't, they just can't fathom this. They regard the deity as wood or stone, and, they feel that you are praying to an idol, which is material. And Srila Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita 12.2 that the form of the Lord can be represented by material qualities. So, the stone is not actually material, it is transcendental. Once the Lord is there, it becomes transcendental. And, there are so many incidents where the Lord has actually shown that He is present and He reciprocates with devotees. Any examples that you can think of where? Yes, Prabhu. Sakshi Gopal, yes. So Sakshi Gopal, Sakshi means to give evidence. He came to give evidence. So there is a story of this Brahmana and this young man. They go on a yatra, and he promises the older gentleman. He promises the younger person, because he looks after him so well, that I will give you my daughter's hand in marriage. However, after they come back from the pilgrimage, he goes back on his promise. And, this younger person, he goes to the deity and he says that this was said in front of you, so you have to now give evidence. And Sakshi Gopal actually comes and, gives that evidence. So very good example. Thank you. There is also, so I've heard a story about a deity by my Guru Maharaj. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared to Gopala Bhatt Goswami and told him to go to Nepal, to the river Gandaki. And as Gopal Bhatt Goswami was taking bath, 12 Saligram Shilas, so you know what Shaligram Shilas are, yeah? There's like stone forms. They appeared in his pot, so he put them back. And then again, they appeared. So this happened 3 times. And then he thought, okay, this is a sign. I think the Lord wants to come with me, to Vrindavan. So he brought the Shaligram Shilas back to Vrindavan. And then, he started worshipping them with great devotion. And then one time, a wealthy man, he was passing through Vrindavan. And he offered various ornaments and, jewelry and clothes, for the different deities. And, Gopala Bhatt Goswami in his heart was feeling that, I can't really offer these to my Shaligram Shilas because, they're just like round stones. So, like in his heart, he was wishing that the Lord would manifest a form in which he could worship them to his heart's desire. And, we should understand that the desire of the great souls are mirrored in Krishna. So, Krishna tries to fulfill their desires. Shishi Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Shishi Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai, Shishi Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, when Gopala Bhatt Goswami, he thought of serving the 3-bended form, like our Radha Gokulananda, of Krishna. So that meant that Krishna wanted that service from him. So on a Narsingha Chaturdashi, Gopala Bhatt Goswami prayed, and he prayed that if you so desire, you may appear and manifest in this form. And the next morning he saw that his Damodar Shila had manifested into a form of Krishna, a little form of Krishna. And this self-manifested deity, he had really tiny teeth and tiny nails and, really beautiful form. And, because, Krishna was playing the flute in the nearby Vrindavan forest, all the Goswamis, they decided to give the name Radharaman to this deity. So we see that, Krishna does manifest in the deity form. And we've had one example, but there are various examples. There's the Kheer Chor Gopinath, where he stole kheer and put it behind the altar for his devotee. So the Lord does, reciprocate with us, but we need to have that faith. We don't see that there's an idol or a stone or wood. We see that, Krishna is here, and then Krishna will, reciprocate with us. There is another example. I heard in a lecture long time ago that there was a pujari who used to serve Radha Damodar in Vrindavan. And when the curtains were closed, the devotees could hear noise like as if somebody is talking. And actually the deity and the pujari, they were conversing. The deity would say, today you didn't put enough salt in my bhoga, like they would converse. So, that they had that intimate relationship. And, there's a story about Srila Prabhupada. Once he went in America to a temple, and during deity greeting, Srila Prabhupada was standing there, admiring the beauty of Shri Radha Kalachandi. And then he turned to the pujari and said, "So what is the mood of the deities? How are they feeling?" And the pujari was like, "I don't know." He was like, "What do I say?" And then he said that, "I don't know, Srila Prabhupada, And then Srila Prabhupada said that actually you are a pujari, you are the intimate servant of the deities. So therefore you should know the mood of the deities. So, when we come in front of the deities and we are worshipping, it's not just ritualistic that we are worshipping. We are connecting with the Lord, and we should know. Whenever Srila Prabhupada went to his different temples, he would know exactly how the deities were worshipped. And he would say to the pujaris that, these deities are very happy with your worship. Or if there was something not right in the temple, he would know immediately. So he was actually conversing with the deities. That is the mood that we need to carry. So that's the Bhagwan feature of the Lord. And there is the Paramatma feature. So that's the Lord as the super soul in our heart. And, we can meditate upon that Lord. And we say that our Guru is the manifestation of that Lord. So when we have a desire to come very close to Krishna, then Krishna manifests in form of our Guru and helps us come closer. And we all know the story of Dhruv Maharaj in the Srimad Bhagavatam, where he was meditating for a long time on Vishnu. And he was seeing the form of Vishnu in his heart. And then when he opened his eyes, that same form of Vishnu was standing in front of him. So that Krishna is the same Krishna that's in our heart. So that's also a personal form, because we have that personal relationship when we meditate on him. And then the third aspect is the Brahmajyoti. This is a very powerful energy of the Lord. One can, we can see that it's very, very powerful. But how can you have a relationship with this effulgence, this light form of the Lord? So it is a form of Lord, but you can't really have a relationship because, the Brahmajyoti can't really reciprocate with you. And, Srila Prabhupada says here that you can't worship the Brahmajyoti. And, Srila Prabhupada is very strong. I mean, in this verse, he makes a very strong statement, that those who, consider the transcendental form of the Lord to be a product is surely destined for hell. Because they have no faith in the Lord, they blaspheme him. When, you don't have faith and you think that that's just a stone, then you're blaspheming the Lord. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Antya Leela 8.26, it says that even though one is liberated in this life, if he offends this, the Supreme Lord, he falls down in the midst of material desires. Of which dry speculation about spiritual realization is one. So it's really, really dangerous for us to speculate like that. And to move forward in our spiritual life, we need association of devotees. So like we are all here together discussing this verse. And, if we then start associating with impersonalists, then we start losing faith in the Lord, and we could become atheists as well. So here Srila Prabhupada is warning us. And also in the Bhagavad Gita 12.2, Srila Prabhupada says that those who follow this path are called Jnana Yogis, and it is a very troublesome path. They are unnecessarily trying to understand what is Brahman or is not. And this unmanifest realization is against the nature of his spiritual, blissful self. So Srila Prabhupada is very strong about this. He says that this is like committing suicide, spiritual suicide. It is not at all advised by the Lord. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a story about Lord Chaitanya and Advaita Acharya, which shows that the Lord is not happy. So we all know that Advaita Acharya is an exalted devotee of the Lord, and it's because of his desperate prayers that Lord Chaitanya, actually Krishna came in the form of Lord Chaitanya to this world. And so Advaita Acharya was the spiritual uncle of Lord Chaitanya, and he was the god brother of Lord Chaitanya's guru. So Lord Chaitanya would show him a lot of respect, and treat him as his uncle or spiritual uncle. And he would very carefully follow the etiquettes of Vaishnavas, how we should behave with Vaishnavas, how we treat, our senior Vaishnavas, god brothers, guru. So, he would be very humble and address Advaita Acharya like his own spiritual master. But Advaita Acharya didn't like this. He wanted a more a personal relationship. He didn't want this awe and reverence, relationship. So, and he knew that Nimai, Lord Chaitanya, was his worshipable form. So he wanted him to accept him as his servant, not treat him, as his guru. Lord Chaitanya would call him Advaita Prabhu, he would address him such. So then Advaita Prabhu didn't like this, and he was becoming, depressed. So then he was thinking, what do I do? How do I get the mercy of the Lord? So he left Navadip and he went to Shantipur. And there he started preaching the philosophy of Yoga Vasishtha. So, this is an impersonal form. Meditation or interpretation of the Bhagavad Gita, which is Mayavad or impersonal. And he was preaching this. So Lord Chaitanya, who was it? Yeah, so Lord Chaitanya found out about this. And, he was not happy about it. So one day Lord Chaitanya came to Shantipur. And, when Advaita Acharya saw that Lord Chaitanya was there, he started with full force, preaching in this way to make sure that Lord Chaitanya understood that he was Mayavadi and preaching this. So he was really enthusiastically preaching this. So then Lord Chaitanya became very, very angry. His eyes were red and his voice filled with anger. He said to Advaita, are you propounding speculative knowledge or devotion, of which is better? And Advaita Acharya answered him that it is obvious, it's supported by all scriptures, that speculative knowledge is superior to devotion. So Lord Chaitanya then got really, really angry. He went onto the platform, he grabbed Advaita Acharya and started beating him up. And Advaita Acharya was laughing. He was so happy that finally the Lord is reciprocating with me. And, Lord Chaitanya is beating him up. Sita Thakurani, his wife, comes and says, please don't beat him up. He's an old man. He will die. Please don't do this. And Advaita Acharya went into ecstasy. He was so happy that finally, the Lord is acting in this way. In previously he was worshipping me. Now today He says to Lord Chaitanya that you have punished me and, you have fulfilled my desire. And Lord Chaitanya, then became embarrassed. But, this is the reciprocation. And it also shows that how Krishna is, not at all happy with the impersonalist, philosophy. So this verse is actually showing us that, the Lord is personal. He's here. He's come to reciprocate with us. And this is how we need to reciprocate. And just before we end, a personal reflection that not just with the Lord, we need to reciprocate with devotees in a personal way as well. Sometimes, we become resentful of devotees. Some issues happen. We are not, sometimes there's, hurt between devotees. We feel that they are not respecting us, and these things happen. And, sometimes the way we deal with them is, I'm not going to talk to that devotee again. I'm going to change my service because I don't like that department anymore. We become impersonal like that. And, these tendencies, we have to watch out for those. And we have to always be grateful that even if there are difficulties in our life, it is Krishna's mercy. He's trying to bring us closer to Him. And that person, rather than becoming resentful of that devotee, we need to be grateful to that devotee that through you, Krishna is actually showing me something. He's teaching me a lesson. And, be grateful for all the opportunities the Lord is giving us to serve Him, serve His devotees. Because when we start moving away from devotees, then this impersonal, tendency starts coming into our heart, and, we can start losing faith in the Lord. So, we need to work on this deeper relationship with the devotees and with the Lord. Krishna is present in our life, is interacting with us, but we need to be open, we need to be present and less ritualistic in our dealings with the Lord. We are so lucky that our acharyas have given us this beautiful process, beautiful deities. So we need to really take advantage and reciprocate with the deities. So I will stop here now and open up for any reflections, any corrections. Yes, Prabhuji, do we have a mic?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for your presentation. This was Lord Brahma is speaking for Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Somehow I found out that this verse and the verse previous to this, both of them have been quoted in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita twice.
Okay.
Once Sarup Damodar is speaking these verses for Lord Chaitanya. On another occasion, one disciple of Prakashanand Saraswati, he is speaking these verses for Lord Chaitanya. So just wanted to check how appropriate is it to speak those verses which are spoken for a particular deity in front of another deity. Let's say Queen Kunti's prayers. Is it okay if we recite them in front of Gaunataya? How appropriate is it?
I don't really know the answer to that. I mean, Krishna is present, isn't it? So Lord Chaitanya is no different to Krishna. So I don't know if there are other seniors who would like to speak before I say anything. Yes, Mataji.
Lord Chaitanya loved to hear the Bhagavatam. He would hear the Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. So any verses from the Bhagavatam are pleasing to Lord Chaitanya.
Thank you. Yes, so, and as we read here, that all the expansions are also Krishna. So the Lord is there in all the expansions. And like Mataji said, so that's my understanding. I don't know if anyone else. Prayojan Prabhu?
And you were talking about the relationships of devotees. And I think I've said this before, but it's a quote from Bhakti Tirtha Swami. He says, think of the person you love most and aspire to treat everyone with that same quality of love.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Okay.
And that also made me think that, when we love somebody, it's an active thing. We can't just say to our child, I love you, and then you neglect them. So in the same way, if we do love Krishna, then we have to, be personal with him. You can't say, to an impersonal form, you can't say, I love you. Krishna is there, and he's giving us the opportunity to, be active with him in that personal relationship. So thank you. Okay. Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question because maybe it's my low understanding about impersonalist. So I would like to make a promise. I ask this because I have impersonalist friends and I recognize in them a great faith and love for God, even if they still cannot see God with a person form. But I consider their love stronger than many others. Sorry, I read because it's hard for me. And then, but in the Shastra we read from Brahma, Krishna and the Acharya that the impersonalists are contaminated by material energy and are destined from hell because they worship the external energy of the Lord. But my question is, I have always thought that even the impersonalists were devotees, but simply with a lower level of consciousness. But like this level of consciousness between devotee like Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttama, Adhikari. And even the Kanishta, Adhikari are still touched by material speculation toward other people in the worship with deities and with the material desire. If I'm not mistaken, it is also said that the impersonalists in the next life become devotee of Bhagavan. Why they then judge their position so harshly? And shouldn't we be compassionate with them?
Okay, thank you. Lovely. So we are all on a journey, and we are at different levels. So, we start with those who have no faith at all, then they're worshipping something. Yeah, so we see there are some Aborigine tribes who worship the mountains or the sun or something. So there are different levels. It's a spiritual journey. So for them, they can't see the Lord, right? So there's the sun, there's the Lord inside, and His light. That's also His energy. So they can only see that energy, and they want to merge in that energy. But spiritual progress for them is going to be very, very difficult. Very difficult. Because, like after merging in the effulgence, at one point they will have to come back down here. So it's very, very difficult journey for them. And Srila Prabhupada is very strong here, and he says that do not associate. So they are on their journey as well. And yes, we should show compassion, for them. And it is said that, our 10 offenses, that you should not preach to anyone who has this mentality or, who's atheist. But Srila Prabhupada, he was so compassionate. He didn't see who's on what level. And he was just preaching. But for ourselves, we should know where we are. We are not Srila Prabhupada, you see. So if we are going to be contaminated, you see, when you're on an aeroplane, they say that if there is an emergency, the mask will fall. Put your mask on first before you help others. So we need to be strong enough to be able to preach or help them. If you feel you're not, then, we should not try and do that. Srila Prabhupada was able to do that. So, he was preaching. And we also see that, our devotees, some of them are very strong, and they also go out and preach to everyone. That's what book distribution is, that you give everyone the opportunity. And that's Krishna consciousness. You try and give somebody that opportunity. So I don't know if I've answered your question, that yes, we do show compassion, and we understand that everyone is on their journey. But if we associate with them, then there's a risk of we are going to fall down as well. So we should first save ourselves and then try and help others. I don't know if that helped. David Prabhu?
Thank you, Mataji. Just a comment on that as well, that in the purport, Sri Prabhupada mentions about, he doesn't mention about all impersonalists who go to hell. He mentions those who reject the form, or they think the form of the Lord is material. So these are like the Mayavadis.
Yes.
But then there's also those who are Brahmavadis, who are open to realize the Lord in his personal form as well. It's only the time that separates. That there's different types of impersonalists also. That
Yes,
not all are destined for hell.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
In actual fact, you have to be an example to them, actually. We show that's our behavior should be friendship. We should be friends to all living entities. And if you look at divisions of faith, you can see that there's that you can worship in the modes of passion, goodness, and ignorance. Chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita explains all these things. Like the Ashis, the demoniac. They're worshipping God in a different way. They kill people and annihilate them and laugh. They're demoniac. So there are divisions of faith, but so we have to accept that, and that's what Bhagavad Gita is telling us all about. But you can be an example, but also don't be influenced by them. Because I remember when I was in South Korea, they were watching the news and I was watching this news, on the huge screens, and you saw these Ashis people, they're shooting people and laughing, and I felt myself angry, and I wanted to kill them. So our influence. So I turned away, and I don't watch the news now, because it inflames hatred within us. We must be careful of this. We see the horrific trails, but somehow we have to have faith. Our strong faith is to turn away from it, turn your face away. They say turn the other cheek. He who hurts somebody, it hurts your feelings. Turn the other cheek. This is Jesus. So there's much to be concerned. So example, and she's heard you say Hare Krishna. You've done it. You've done your job. That's it. Finished. Next life, she'll hear. She'll make progress. So
Thank you.
Understanding.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Did you want to say? Oh, Mataji wants to say? Okay.
Yes, just touching on the subject about being kind and loving to each other, and that we're all on our journey, And actually, when we are newcomers, we look up on the senior devotees because it's preached that you must associate with them and learn from them. And I think it's human nature, if you're not receiving that kind of directions or help, human nature has it that we withdraw. We just, just to keep safe, you withdraw. So it's something that we all have to do, and it's not possible, really. It doesn't seem possible that we love each other the same way as we love the person we love dearest. And that's what all the scriptures teach you. Christianity and Hinduism, whatever we follow, they all say the same message. Are we willing to do it? I don't know. It's kind of a competition, I would say, or maybe we discriminate all the time. Who do we give a nice smiling face to, and who we don't give a nice smiling face to? So it's kind of a normal practice. Why do we have to share, and why do we have to give a piece of me, which I want to safeguard? So it's like that, and it's a two-way thing. If you don't give, you don't receive. So no matter what grade or level you're at, status or level of your practice or journey. So we have to stop and think, do we want that relationship? Or what are we going to do about contributing to it? So it's not a one-way thing.
Thank you.
It's a two-way. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.